Hey, it's Bill here. Here's my thoughts on a 4-3 win for the Toronto Maple Leaf comeback win in overtime with Johnny getting the winner. Before I go on and give my analysis, I think we're gonna have to go for a goal review, or we're just gonna have to review something. So let's send it up to Central to review it. Am I good? Am I centered on the camera? No, not centered on the camera. Move a little bit. Okay, thanks for the review. Man, oh man. What were there, 4 reviews tonight? 3 of them they got right, 1 of them they got wrong. So I guess NHL being the league that it is and the cracker, it's just that we're supposed to be happy with 75% hit rate on the reviews. I think that's why you do a review, to make sure you get it 100%. Both goals called back were chintzy at best. I thought Washington's goal should have stood. I thought Lorentz's goal should have stood. I know Nyes's goal should have stood. That one I know. You missed that one. And the high stick. How does Matthew Nyes? We might want to question the refs. How does Matt Nyes high stick a guy when his stick was on the ice? Now I know what they did. They called it a 4-minute penalty so they could go review it. Because if they called it a 2-minute penalty, they can't review it. I bring you the NHL. I bring you the bonehead. Led by George Peros or whoever, and maybe another little hit in the face plant on the ice might be. Yeah, that's what you're remembered for, George. You run. I'm assuming he runs it. Well, I'm sorry. Let's go for another review. Did Bill say something bad? Yes, I said something bad. I take back the George Peros comment about his face hitting the ice. Anyways, let's get into this game. I thought, again, the Leafs played. They tried. They were putting an effort forth, much different than the night before. There was an effort forth. So someone put a comment that you're back-to-back, you're tired. Well, I guess they put no effort forth last night, so therefore they had lots of energy for tonight. Lineup changes, we can get into it. There is no reason why Nick Robertson, now granted he didn't have a great game against Ottawa, but the whole damn team didn't have a good game. You're telling me you're leaving Nick Robertson out for one of the 4 following: Reeves, Kampf, Dewar, Holmberg, name it. Steves. I guess you're putting Steves in the lineup. It's ridiculous. What if Robertson's not in the lineup? Let's get to the Ryan Reeves report for tonight. Ryan Reeves. Oh, we have a 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. There is not a number on the board tonight. Not one number. That means I don't think he even threw a hit in 6 minutes and 22 seconds of ice time. Great. I guess Robertson couldn't compete with that. Anyways, we can get into this game. The first goal, it was great to see me idiot's son get off the schneid and get a goal. I know they gave it to Taylor Radish, but it was a hell of a play by Max Domi, attacking the net, getting to the net, attacking it, and now they didn't review that one. Oh, maybe they should have, because it looked like a kicking motion into the net. But Max Domi with a beauty goal on Joseph Wall, except that's not who you want to score on, Max, but hell of a goal, gets him off the schneid. He's at 1 goal this year, and the Capitals are up 1-0. Okay, again, I thought the first period was kind of, I was liking the fact they were trying to get the effort forth. There was a good shift by the third line, which I believe has a goals of 0 on the year. All 3, if you add up, there was Kampf, Holmberg, and Reeves. They've combined for 0 goals this year. That's your third line. The fourth line, I think Lorentz had a goal, and he had a goal called back. I think he's got 3. So in your bottom 6 forwards going into tonight, they brought in a total goals of 3. I'm thinking that's got to be the worst third and fourth line combination of goals in the league after 17 games. I think that's pretty poor. Now, if you put Robertson, you get it up to 4. There's been no scoring from the third and fourth line, but the third line had a good shift. Steve's had a chance, but again, I don't know what move that is, but that's not a good move. And off you go. Let's get to the first goal for the Leafs. Johnny T! I'll give it up when I got to give it up. I don't know who Matt Roy is, but I'm pretty sure I'm happy that the Leafs didn't sign this guy, because Johnny T, in the slowest way possible, put two inside-out moves on him and beat him to the puck and fed a pass over to McMahon, who did everything in his power to make sure that Thompson had every chance of saving that, because he just slid it on the ice. But thank God it went beneath him, between his legs. You know, easy thing to do is raise the puck, but McMahon's been kind of snake bit. I don't know. But anyways, it went in the net. How can I complain? It is now 1-1. Okay, we're back into it. And I just saw Johnny T make some moves. And then I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be a nice person, and I'm trying to be more positive in these videos. You know, Johnny T and Connor Timmins lost a battle on the boards that should never have been lost. You have two Toronto guys there on the boards, and somehow, I forget what the big tall guy for Protas comes in and just takes the puck from you. Hey, win a battle on the boards, guys. And then Ekman Larsson plays it like Vancouver Ekman Larsson. Now, Ekman Larsson got his 1,000th game tonight. Congratulations. But man, oh man, that second goal, don't put that on your highlight reel. Dylan Strome gets lost in behind. I don't know what to say. Maybe Wall went down a little bit early. I'm not going to blame the goalie on this. This was a lost battle on the boards with Johnny T and Timmins. And then a friggin' terrible play by Larson, turning away from the guy, the give and go guy, turns away from him. Next thing you know, it's 2-1, and we're going into the second period intermission. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. They're playing hard. And now I thought the 3-1 goal was the killer, another Protas goal. This was Keystone Cops bullcrap again, with Max Domi being the leader. But at one point, you had three players, I think McCabe, Tanev, and Nyes, were sitting beside Ovechkin. Now, I understand Ovechkin has scored some goals in the past, and it was an odd man rush. But three of you? And Domi, by the way, Domi made a horrible pass in the zone. Then it jumped over Jake Bryan, Bobby Orr, McCabe. And the next thing you know, it's going back the other way. So everyone's rushing back, and they all go to Ovechkin, and that leaves Protas right by himself with Domi and Nylander loafing back. And it's 3-1. And I thought for sure at that point, end of the second period, this game is over. Why am I watching? I got to get up early in the morning. What's the point of watching the rest of this? However, now we'll also talk about the Karlsson goal. So Karlsson takes a shot. Yanni Hakanpää. I'm going to say some things about what I've noticed about Yanni Hakanpää in the game. He's tall. He's tall. He's tall. I don't know what else, but he's a very tall person. So if being tall is good, he kind of got wasted by Nick Dowd on that play, but he's tall. I'm trying to come up with some positives here. He's tall. Anyways, John Karlsson rips one home. That was a hell of a shot. That puck went in the net, came out of the net faster than it went in. And they did the review. Did Nick Dowd make contact with Joseph Wall in the blue paint? The answer is yes. You can always tell with the goalies. The goalies usually react. You saw the Thompson react when Lorentz got a goal. Wall didn't even react. It just went in the net. But by rule and definition, goals called back. Fair enough. Keeps us in the game. But I think the called back goal was before the protest goal. So we go to the third period. And again, they're putting a lot of pressure. I think shots were like 16-7 in the third period. The Leafs were putting some pressure. Thompson was doing good. Now, on this particular play, he made 3 amazing saves. And then Lawrence, did he, to me, what Steven Lawrence was trying to do was trying to get his stick to knock it in with his stick, because he kind of lifted his hands and put a stick down, or lifted his leg, but by lifting his leg, it looked like the motion. He tried to hit it off. No, he didn't kick it. It hit him in the leg. So that's where I'm trying to struggle. I thought it was a kicking motion, but if it hits you in the upper pad, is that really a kicking motion? Yes, I guess so. I looked at it this way as a Leaf fan. They had a goal called back against us. We now have a goal called back against them. Fair is fair, and love and war. Honestly, I think both goals should have counted, and it should have been 4-2 at that point. It's 3-1. Okay. And then right after that, Nylander. Beautiful play by Nyes. Sneaks right in. It was just came to the net. Looked like hit the post, goes back over to Nylander. Now you put it in, you're 3-2. Okay, you got 4 minutes left in the game. You got the momentum certainly going your way. And then we'll talk about the replay that they got wrong. Well, we can talk about the high stick that never happened with Matthew Nyes. And then they replayed it. That's the second time this year that they replayed it, and it wasn't even a penalty. So, like, refs, if you don't see it, I guess their goal is, if I don't see it, I'll just call a penalty, and then I'll go back and review it. Just a ticky-tack league. Just ticky-tack. Oh, I'm going to call a penalty that I never even saw just so I can review it. Oh, okay. Happened against Max Pacioretty. Happened tonight. It just looks bad. It's a bad look on the league, in my personal opinion. Anyways, Matthew Nyes goal. Unless Matthew Nyes' hip is 5 foot, or I think the goal post is 5'2". If Matthew, now I know Matthew Nyes is a big dude, but I'm pretty sure his hip isn't 5'2" in the air. And he tipped that in, and that's a goal. That's a goal all day. That was a horrible. The only reason this was called off is because the ref in the corner, who somehow picked out that, he couldn't see the friggin' that Matthew Nyes' stick wasn't on the ice for the bloody or for the high stick, but he saw that Matthew Nyes' stick was over, so he called it off. And so by rule, if he called it off, he has to have proof that it wasn't a high stick. What kind of lead? That's horrible. I'm sorry. How Berube didn't lose it after that is ridiculous. That was not a high stick. It shouldn't have been called a high stick at the beginning based on how they called the rest of the game. But for the fourth time tonight, we go to the room. I thought I was watching NFL football. Even NFL football doesn't have that many replays in a game. Like, these refs were so inept that they had to go to the replay. And I get the one where the Leafs actually challenged it, but the other stuff I don't think was challenged. They just went to and that's another thing. If the goal was scored a goal on the ice, doesn't Washington have to challenge it? I don't think Washington challenged it. Because don't they get a penalty if they get it wrong? I think that they just went right over and said, "Oh, don't worry about the challenge. We got it from here." Explain this to me, NHL. It's unexplainable. It's unexplainable. When the Leafs challenged the goal, Craig Berube had to say, "I challenge," meaning if he's wrong, he gets a penalty. When Lawrence's goal went in, pretty sure the Washington coach, the ex-Leaf assistant coach, didn't challenge it. They just went, "Oh, don't worry about it. We're going to go take a look at it." This is another one. They called it no. Craig Berube didn't challenge it. He didn't say it was a high stick. They just went over and reviewed it. So why did coaches have to ask for a review? Just review everything. Who knows? But to me, every review I saw, that puck was not over the goal line or was not over the crossbar unless Matthew Nyes has a 5'2" hip, and he don't. So it went in the net. So at that point, I was steaming Willie Beeman until the Leafs get a power play, and Mitch Marner roof daddies it when he just had to shoot it in the net. But great play by Morgan Riley. Horrible stick by the one Washington defenseman. It goes over to Marner, pots it, perfect. And then in overtime, had a 27-foot lead on a breakaway, and by the time he got to the net, Carlson had caught him, but it was still a little too late. But by the way, Washington, at the end of a shift, still nearly got Johnny T. But it was a hell of a save by Wall. Wall played pretty, he played decent tonight. The Leafs goaltending has not been an issue all year. Big save, so I think Wall should have got an assist on it. He made the save, and then Marner shot it up the ice. Johnny T was flying at that point, and he still got caught at the net, but he put it home. So let me give Johnny T from Mitchie Boitano and Joseph Wall and the Leafs comeback victory. Big 2 points. If you would have talked to me after the Matthew Knies goal review, I certainly wasn't in a mood to talk to anybody at that point, but after the comeback win, I think fair is fair. I think both teams deserved a point. I thought the Leafs brought some effort and were rewarded for bringing the effort. Here's the crazy thing. At 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game, the Leafs need a goal. The following players were on the ice: Pontius Holmberg, David Kampf, Alex Steeves, Jake McCabe, and Chris Tanev. Combined, those 5 guys, 0 goals on the year. Like, wow. And you sit Nick Robertson. That makes a lot of sense. Well, Robertson's got 1 goal. You could have put Lorentz on the ice. Lorentz scores. He had 0 goals on the ice with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. That made no sense to me. I was calling Chief Craig Strongbow a lot of names at that point. But at the end of the day, they get the power play. They get to be able to take a timeout, rest everyone, put the big boys out. Marner, Mitchie Boitano came through. The other thing I'd like to say in this game, it's interesting because I typically don't watch a lot of opposition games. Like, I'll usually see a couple games a year, especially like, a Saturday or a Friday night, or if there's a Sunday afternoon game, I'll catch that. But typically I don't get to see a lot of teams. I can tell you, watching Washington, Jacob Chychrun might be one of the worst defensemen in the NHL. I am so happy that the Leafs did not sign this guy. The one goal that they called back, the goal they called back, Jacob Chychrun was in the corner. He reminded me of Jake Muzzin. There's a goal that I took a picture, I put it on one of my reviews when Jake Muzzin was playing hockey, and thank God he's not playing hockey for the Leafs anymore. He wasn't even, the puck was in the net against Pittsburgh. He wasn't even in the play. There's one, Jacob Chychrun isn't even in the play. He's behind the net. He's in the corner behind the net, just where Jake Muzzin was. I don't know how, maybe the name Jake, or like maybe there's been a lot of bad players to play defense with the name Jake or Jacob. Jacob Chychrun. Holy wow, that's a bad defenseman. Thank God he didn't come to the Leafs. And when he's done, I hope he doesn't come. But anyways, the Leafs play on Saturday against the Edmonton Oilers. We get the McDavid show. Oh, and maybe Austin Matthews will show up at some point. Well, it'd be nice. I've got him in my hockey pool, so he was not going to say anything about his injury. Like, heaven forbid you give Leaf fans any kind of notice of what's happening. Heaven forbid. Anyways, it is what it is. Edmonton on Saturday. Talk to you then. Cheers. Bye.